So I'm excited to do this call for you guys. I'm not an expert. I just want to say I'm not an expert. I'm not a tax person. I'm still learning. This is not like legal government advice. This is just my perspective. So you definitely want to talk to your tax person about all of this, and they're going to guide you in the right way. But I think that oftentimes we just don't know what we can write off. It's kind of like intimidating. You're kind of wondering, like what do I do? And I just all these things. And there's so much like stuff when you get into it. And I'm still learning because, like I just had told Monique, I actually opened an S corp a few months ago when I did my taxes, and which don't really ask me the don't really this is what I'm saying, like I'm not an expert, but don't ask me really the difference between a regular corporation, or an LLC I should say, an LLC and an S corp. But once you start making a certain amount of money, I would say personally would be like whatever you consider like a full-time income. That would be the time that you, and again, this is just my understanding, that would be the time that you would open some sort of a corporation. Because in those corporations, and this is literally, this is after 10 years, this is the first year that I've done it. And I've gotten by just fine with with every other year. And I was never the person that paid in quarterly. And I'm not saying not to talk to your tax person, but I'm saying I was fine without doing that. But my income has increased a lot significantly. And so I need to make sure that I'm doing this in the best way so that I'm not taking what I just told Monique was, if you don't have an S corp, and the girl through Plexus that I know, she's the one that kind of talked to me about this. They say you give like 40% of your commissions basically, or your income, to the government if you're not in some sort of like the S corp. So anyway, with that being said, like talk to your tax person about all of that, the logistics. It's not hard to do. Like my tax lady did it all for me. I just had to give her my information. I think it was like, it's not expensive either. I mean, it might be like $100 maybe to like, or 150 to like actually, and I think you have to pay that every year, but it's also a tax write-off. Um, but like I'm gonna be able to like lease my vehicle to my business, which is wild to me. I can lease every vehicle in my driveway to my business, and a multitude of things. And so what's interesting is kind of as you get into because then there's like the next thing is like, right, whether or not you can write off your home office as like space in your house. I've had mixed, like Lindsay's tax person allowed her all these years, and she's never had a corporation. Well, don't quote me on that. I say she's never had one. I don't think she has. Um, and they've allowed her to do that. My tax guy always said, no, you can't write off your office space. Because, and I know what it was. It was because I didn't have traffic coming through. So if I had had clientele coming through, if I had people showing up to my house, which we sometimes do, right? If we have like a consultation, but let's be real, like we really don't have that many people coming to our home. So there's that. So if that's the case, then you can write off your electric and all these things. But regardless of that, so find out about that, like where the waters stand on that with your tax person. Because if that's the case, then it's like you can write off, you could write off gravel for your driveway. You could write off asphalt. I mean, there's so many things because, if this is a place people are coming in, then you need to make it presentable. So think about all the things, the maintenance outside of your home that you do if you put a new roof on. Like there's so many things, okay? This kind of gets really like lengthy when you get into it, but that's just kind of the gist of it. Um, but then kind of coming into the fact where most of us are, which is the fact that you don't need an S corp, probably not yet. You will likely, because like I say this every time, or I feel this every time, but like today was payday, and I just can't tell you the impact this income will have on your future. So I just want to help you guys in the right direction to try to write some stuff off to kind of like help yourself so that you're showing kind of like a loss essentially with some of the things, right? So okay, so if you're in the space of just like you're just a self, right? Like you're just filing as yourself. Um let's talk about write-offs for that because that's most important. So basically, like your phone bill, my tax person has always let me write off a fraction of my phone bill, my internet. I actually have two internets, so I write them both off. Kind of a long story why I have two internets, but and then like so anything like if you buy a printer for your office, any office supplies you buy, any gifts you buy for your team, any um any personal development books you buy, like any kind of training you've purchased online to help grow your business, whether that was, maybe it was a mindset coach, maybe it was actually social media coaching, maybe it was whatever, right? You can write off most of those things. Any subscription you're using for like Canva, like I write off Canva, I write off my Zoom because I pay $15 a month for Zoom. I write off like I even write off my website stuff. So I have a Google domain because I have a website and I have a website guy, and like I write that stuff off. Do I even talk about CBD on that platform? No, but this is an online business. So everything kind of flows and trickles in. Okay. So I want you to think about everything that you kind of have on purchase. I'm trying to think, like the Manny chat that I just did on Instagram, that will be a write-off. Like I said, your electric bill could, the ads you run, yes, any ads you run, anything like that. I pay for the what is it, Instagram certification or whatever. Like I'm not like I pay for that stupid like blue star that probably doesn't mean anything, but it's supposed to make you verified. So like whatever, less likely to like be looked at as like a whatever. So I could write that off. Gosh, so many things. So, and then it gets into the fact of like anything for samples that you buy. Um, if you go get a manicure or your nails done, you can write it off because you're someone in this online space. You are, and that goes under. I actually just started this year. And Lindsay said she's always wrote this off, but it goes under like aesthetics. So there's like an aesthetics category that you can have that basically you can write off, like getting your hair done, getting your nails done. If you buy a new outfit because you're hosting events or you're going on like one of the trips, you literally can write that off because nobody can prove, and I know this is recorded, but, and again, this is not, this is just, but nobody can prove what you bought the outfit for, right? And you're using these things for different various things that you do. Like if you bought a new suitcase, anything you bought for a trip that you're going to take, any hotel expense, gas. So they will allow you to write off. So my tax lady this year, because I switched tax people, it's kind of interesting. Again, you're just going to have to deal with who you get kind of, and you want to find somebody, I didn't say this, but you really want to find somebody who's well versed in this space with this kind of business. I know some people that I would not want to go to because they are very much, what's the word? Not picky, that's not the word I'm looking for, but just buy the book. That's what I wanted to say, but I'm like, anyways, I'm trying to sort of not teeter on my what I really want to say about some of this because this is just my kind of part of my opinion. But anyway, so yes, someone that's very much does not know really, like they're just very much by the book. They're used to working with individuals that are in corporate America or whatever, okay? Where they're not really allowed to write off a lot of this stuff. And we are, because we're doing a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't know. And that's where you got to think outside the box as to what you can write off. So gas, so for years I wrote off mileage because Dale, my original tax guy, said mileage would pay you better, would be a better write-off for you financially than the gas. Now, this lady that I just switched to because he retired, which he's now working for this lady that I'm going to, it's kind of funny. But anyway, she said to do mileage, or she said to do gas. So you'll just have to see. So you want to save, like, you should save all your receipts. You can do like an online app, maybe like one of y'all know an app that you can use for this to keep track. I don't do that. I should. What I typically do, and I do, to be really honest, I don't know if this is good enough because I don't know, keeping receipts would be good and ideal. And I do keep some, and you can track a lot through email. You can track a lot, but yes, using a Word document, and I did that this past year, but keeping up with it as you go and breaking it down month by month will save you so much headache in the end of the year or beginning of next year when you're like, I've done nothing, because that's me every year. I'm like, I've done nothing. And now I have to gather every document and think of everything that I spent that had anything to do with. So typically I go back to my credit card statement or my bank debit card with different things that are sent out through there. And I just hash out stuff there and then I itemize it and organize it. But I'm telling you, if you do it month by month, it's so much easier. Um, wear and tear on your car. So like new tires, any oil change, any replacement, anything, windshield wipers. I don't care what it is. If you go out to eat and you mention the word Green Compass, write it off. You can write that off because you have a lot of business meetings. Okay. You guys are doing a lot of weekly, daily business meetings. And so you can write off any of that. Why the car? Why write the car off? Because you're using your car to go to events. You're using your car to deliver samples, to go to the post office, to travel, to drive to different events, to drive to the airport. Yeah. So you can think about, what that would look like. But, I talk about Green Compass in my car all the time. So on the daily. So there we go. Anyway, so the other thing I wanted to share, what was the next little category so if you go on any trips, you get to write those off as well. So any flights, any hotels, expenses there, expenses to get there, that's huge too. If you're going on like if you're going to conference, all of that is a write-off. It's an investment, but it's also a write-off, which kind of ends up sort of being a good thing for your business at the same time, because it's like a double whammy. You're getting great benefit from going, and then you're getting to utilize that as a write-off. If you buy a new laptop, like I said, if you buy a new printer, anything like that, if you redo your office, if you, whatever, if you buy stuff. And the other thing before I forget, I want to say, and I'm going to look at you guys. I appreciate you guys throwing stuff out here because it's just good. We can just brainstorm. And like I said, this is not anything official or professional. This is just, I think, something good for us to talk about, because this is something nobody's ever told me. Like, I've had to ask a lot of questions from different people and no one's ever really like helped me with this. And if your tax person doesn't know what they're doing, then it's just like this whole thing. But anyway, the other thing is your product. So you want to write off the products that you're using, because you are using these as samples. You're using them when you go to events. You're showing them to people. You're talking about it on your social media. I mean, I will even write off if I buy something, because I know I'm going to talk about it on my social media because it's a clean brand or it's something that I wanted to let my people know, I will write it off. So there's another fun fact. Think about that as you talk about different things that are in your brand or your niche, that go along with it. You can write it off. I know Rachel Newton does that too. She writes off a ton of stuff because she does a lot of product reviews. So like, there you go. But, and again, your tax person will determine, maybe how much is okay to write off, as far as product goes that you're buying. But again, you're doing all these events, like you talk to people, you can mail samples. There's so much stuff that you're doing that nobody knows what you're doing. And you talk about your business all the time. And if you do, then in my opinion, every product should be able to, and you're a product of the product, you need it for your business, because like you need it for your health, but then it's your business too. So it just makes sense. What else? No, I know. So I just said that, Kate, you just missed it. So I write off. So, okay. So just this past year, I started an aesthetics, like category. So I write off like my nails, my hair, like outfits that I buy, like shoes, stuff, anything for events that I might want, a dress that I have whatever. Any green compass like swag? I'm gonna write that off. So the gym membership, probably not, I would say. I mean, that's a good question. I would go with no. It is like a personal development though. I just think that as far and you are taking care of yourself. So like for me, I mean, you maybe could. I'm gonna write off like my nervous system coaching that I'm doing because I'm paying someone to help me like in my like it flows into my business, right? So like I'll write that off. Um I'm trying to think. Any time, oh, and you can write off your cleaning lady if you have a cleaning lady. What else? So that's really cool.
Time out. You can write off your cleaning lady.
Oh yeah. Because she's now this is going to determine if you again, this is going to determine on your tax person, okay, and how picky they are with things. But if if they're cleaning a plate, if they're cleaning, if your office is in your home and you work out of your home, and again, this is going to determine, I talked about this at the beginning, Kate. I don't know if like for years, my guy didn't allow me to write off yeah, to write off my office because I wasn't having traffic flow. So he was like, you could write off your office, but you're not like a corporation, you're not incorporated. So it makes it hard. Plus, you don't have traffic coming in and out, which they can't really prove that I don't have traffic coming in and out of my business of it too. Cause I could be having, I've had plenty of one-on-one consultations with people in the past. So anyway, so talk about that. But basically the idea is that like it's your cleaning lady, but nobody's got to know what she's like. Nobody, she could be like, you could be delegating something to her. Okay. So you're delegating her. She's helping you. She's packing samples. She's whatever. So like, there's a way to make this, to make whatever pretty much almost work. Yes, exactly. But here's the thing, you can't pay her more than like $600 or it's like 650 without giving her a W-2 or 10, whatever, 10, not 1099. I guess it would be like a W-2 or actually paying her. So you have to keep that under. That's why it would be smart if like you paid like your mother. Like, here's another thing that my tax person told me, and this is coming from my tax person. Okay. I'm just relaying this message. This is not BS. This is not BS. So he said that you could literally pay like your mom, you could write a check to Rebecca saying, like whatever, however much, right? And she could just like, she would like then give the money, you know what I'm saying? But it would be like in writing and you paid her to do something. Okay. So anyway, so like you're just like whatever, or maybe she like whatever, you paid her money. I don't know. But like you're delegating stuff. So that's the difference. So it doesn't really maybe come down to like exactly what they're doing, but that's kind of like what he's told us to do which we've not really done. But like the cleaning lady, I just kind of like, yes, exactly, you can pay your husband, you can pay your kids if they're a certain age, and like this stuff is legit. This isn't just like under the table like radar. This is like you have, and I don't know the logistics of this, but you have the ability to pay your kid. Like there's some wild thing, like you can pay your kid up to $12,000 a year. I want to say it's 10 to 12 for whatever. And I don't know what that does. I've not done that part, but I think I want to say 12, which is probably why I've never done it because my kids are just now to that age. Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. And even like there's something else I was gonna say. But yeah, oh, I know. Like even like for me with the S corp, so since I just got that recently, I can actually, so I will actually have payroll, which I know nothing about, but I can pay my husband to like, and he's on my payroll, and then I cut him like, but then I have to pay myself. It's really confusing because then I have to pay myself and I have to determine how much money I'm going to need for the year, because then the other money, I don't know. It's wild. But anyway, you don't need to worry about that. Like unless you decide you want to get an S corp at that point, and I'm still learning that. So that doesn't, okay. It doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. Your daughter's 10 months and okay. Um, that's crazy. Yeah. I don't know. But that's the thing. That's what frustrates me about this like whole thing is like they don't like nobody's telling you this. So you are paying your money, your hard-earned money is going away from you because you don't know and I don't know what we can write off, you know? And so that's where like we can kind of learn together, and it's just smart. I know, but you know what? So I've heard a couple different things. The thing about the S corp is, from what I understand, they get audited more. So I'm kind of like not looking forward to that. So they do get audited more because they're allowed to do more. But then there is I don't know exactly, but basically your money isn't, you're keeping pretty much all of your money, is how I'm understanding. So I think, Courtney, I bet you can, like, I don't know how it works, but I wouldn't see why you can't change it somehow. Like, I don't know. See, I don't know about that. Um, and I just know this from my friend in Plexus who has like, who's just done this, and she knows her stuff, and she's literally wrote off like a lot of stuff. And but she did say she's been audited, I think twice, 2 or 3 times. And she said it wasn't even a big deal. Like, you think it's going to be a big deal. And it was like, they tried to write off like some kind of grass seed. They tried to write off for their area where her office was. And they were like, no, like, I don't know. Anyways, whatever. And she's like, it was like $50 or $100 I had to pay them. Like, it wasn't a huge deal. So I mean, they're going to like, as long as you have like the documentation, and it's not too like, it can't be obviously like so far fetched. That's why I'm like, the gym membership, I don't know. The reason that I say that like I can write off my nervous system person is because it's like it could be my business. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm using her as in my online like coach, but can they determine whether that's a business, or I don't know. So anyways, I don't know for sure if I'll write that off, but I'm just thinking about things that you could maybe get around. Um, let's see. Yes, a portion of your rent and your electric bill. Yes, the electric bill too, but he would never let me do that before I had the S corp. So I don't get that. But like I said, Lindsay always said she did. So they let her do it. So like I said, make sure you find out about that. What else? I should have pulled up my tax. Oh, that's what I'll do. Let me pull up my tax thing really quick, and I will just look and see what else I've forgotten to just share that like I wrote off really quick. Hold on. I can't see the chat, so just 1 second. I'm looking at my. Okay. So, dang it. And if you guys want to unmute, go for it. If you have a question or you want to say something. Here we go. Yeah, so like flights, any flight pretty much could be for your business. Let's just be real. Any flight, Zoom, hair appointment, Project Broadcast, which is like a monthly text messaging system I was using that I just stopped using because you can't use the word CBD, so it's pointless. Business attire at TJ Maxx, hotel, Uber, Uber, all the Ubers when you go somewhere, AT&T internet and phone bill, cleaning lady, lunch, internet, my ticket for conference. So you can write off your ticket for conference. Um, Trying to think of anything else. Like I pretty much just, any samples, any postage samples, sample materials that you've used. Like I said, gifts for your team. Um, pirate ship. I did a bunch of pirate ship with like different things from previous. Uh, oh, photography. If you have photos taken, It's a perfect write-off. I don't care what they're for. I don't care if they were for your business or not. You're using them to market, so use it. Business card printing, anything you buy for like events you go to, like decorative stuff. Um, oh, calendar, planner, like anything you buy that way. Okay, so that pretty much I feel like sums up most things that you can write off. I can't think of anything else that I left off. But yeah, like if you had an assistant or you hired someone or you paid someone to do something, I did do like a little bit of VA stuff. It wasn't for a Green Compass, but um okay. So there's that. I think that pretty much covers most things. What else you guys got? Oh, here we go. Okay. LLCs can have an unlimited numbers of members. Okay. Okay. No, I didn't know either about any of this stuff. Haley, I was like, okay, good. She'd let you write off your office space. So that's good because it makes sense because you can write off more. Trying to look around my office just to see if anything else triggers my mind. Um, like if you bought a new computer, you know what I mean? If you bought a ring light, if you bought anything like that, phone case, a new phone, and then like, if anybody has, like I said, I'm not super savvy with like the organization of it and I'm going to get better at this, but I'm also very traditional and simple and I don't love a lot of like software and stuff. So you can do different, like they even have this like app and I don't even know what it's called, but I'm sure there's multiple, but like you can literally take a picture of the item, like I'm not the item, take a picture of the receipt and then the receipt like it compiles into this whatever. And then you have all of this electronic stuff, which is really smart because I hate paper receipts anyways. And I used to save the paper receipts and then it's just like this whole mess and that's not fun either. So I pretty much just look at I just look at my credit card statements now and different bank statements, which again, I don't know that that's legit. Like if you get audited, are you going to, are they going to be like, that's not enough? I don't know. Yeah. So the insurance, that's interesting. So here's the other thing. Again, this is just what my tax guy said, but obviously he didn't have the same perspective as like because he didn't let me write off my office space and like other people say that theirs did, but he said when he said that you could write off either mileage or gas fell under. See, I didn't write off my insurance. I didn't really, or maybe I did. I take that back. I did write it off. I did write it off, yes. But see, he had told me originally that you either wrote off your gas and all of the repairs on your vehicle or the mileage, and the mileage paid better. I don't know. That seems over my head and weird, but anyways. But yeah, that would make sense. Your car insurance. Yes, any apps. Exactly. Any apps, any monthly service that has anything to do with your business, that's definitely a write-off. Even your business fee through Green Compass, the 9.99, um, your business startup kit, like all of that stuff is a write-off. Yeah. So, but yeah, if anybody has any like feedback on just like an app or something that they use, but I just this year what I did was just like compiled it into a Google document. I did month, so I did like January and I just listed out the things. And then what I do is I categorize it. So like, and it has seemed to work this way. And I can tell you guys because this kind of is helpful way to actually start. I feel like to feel like halfway organized. I'll tell you, and this is not anything that this is just what I did. And I'm not saying this is even like I don't even know like where I got this, but it's just kind of what I've always done. But I had categories, and it was like, oh, and then then with a corporation, you have to do like your losses, and then you had to do your losses, and then you had to do your actual income, which is something new that I had never had to like write out. Um, Categories. Okay, here we go. So I did gas receipts, January through December, car repairs slash maintenance slash insurance. So like a new air filter, repair on my key fob, glass, windshield, new tires, oil change, new brakes, rotate tires, windshield wipers, a key fob battery, um, new tires again because I actually had a faulty set of tires, which was weird, and then I had to end up paying like 40% of the tires. Um, Electric bill, um, your tax return last year, by the way. So whatever you paid for your taxes last year, that's a write-off. They should automatically be doing that for you though. Travel expenses, food slash business trips slash events slash gifts for the team. That was another category. Next category, postage, office supplies, business cards. Um, the next category is business like clothing slash aesthetics. And then the next one was monthly website fees, like, and that would also be I put advertisement, marketing, and photography in there. So if you have anybody doing any kind of marketing or anything for you or advertisement, that would go there too. Um, the next category I had trainings and personal development. So like I said, if you're paying some sort of a coach or business coach or any kind of like, even if it's just like a one-time course thing that you buy online, that's a write-off. Any personal development that you're using, doing, and that's where the gym membership maybe could go under. I don't know. Maybe you could justify that because it makes sense. Like you're taking care of your health to take care of your business. Like it all is totally related. I just don't know. I don't know. I would try it. Product investment. So products I purchased for event samples and marketing. Um, I had two companies last year, so I had both of those down. My internet, my phone bill, virtual assistant slash assistant, cleaning lady. That's it. There's probably a lot more I don't know, but that's what I know so far. Um, so I hope that's helpful. Just to kind of like give you inspiration that, it's kind of like a game, in a way. And then you can kind of gauge, like, I don't know. And as you go and as your income builds, you can kind of like see where, and their tax person will help you with that kind of stuff too, as to what you kind of, what that's looking like. And I remember when I worked for the dentist that I worked for all those years, he would be like, at the end of the year, he'd be like, gosh, in farmers too, it's like, I've got to spend money. Like, I've got to buy something. I've got to spend money. I haven't had to do that, but it's just interesting, so they'll help you with all of that and kind of guide you. But hopefully this kind of gives you like at least a insight on, and then you can take it to them and say, okay, can I do this? Right. Cause like, again, I'm not, but this is what I've been able to do. And so I hope that works for you guys too. Any questions, comments, concerns? All right. Well, I know this is like a weird call because this is not like what we normally do, but not really like the focus. But I wanted to share this because I had a few people asked, and I've had people ask throughout the year. So I was like, I'm just gonna do a call on this, and then that way I can share this with people. And if it's helpful, I think it hopefully is, and um, we can just learn together as we go. So, yes, you're so welcome. You guys have a good night, and we'll talk soon. You're welcome. See you guys. Thanks for getting on.